Hello and welcome back to Pihoa Network, your go-to channel for post-independence history of Africa. We delve into the rich and vibrant history of Kenya, affectionately known as the cradle of humanity. We are focusing on Kenya's journey since gaining independence from British colonial rule in 1963. Buckle up for a fascinating ride. Straddling the equator, Kenya is bordered to the east by Somalia, Ethiopia to the north, northwest by South Sudan, Uganda to the west, to the south by Tanzania, and to the southeast by the Indian Ocean. The British established East Africa Protectorate in 1895. In that year, construction of the Uganda railway connecting its Protectorate of Uganda to Mombasa also commenced. Labor was sourced from India, of whom some chose to stay in Kenya thereafter. White settlers were invited as commercial farmers to promote a cash crop economy. In 1920, the interior became Kenya colony, while the coastal strip remained part of Zanzibar Protectorate. After the Second World War, an escalation of African nationalism followed. Kenya African Union KAU was formed in 1946. Jomo Kenyatta took over leadership in 1947. Towards the end of 1952, the Mau Mau uprising broke out and a state of emergency declared. KAU leaders, including Kenyatta, were arrested, charged, and imprisoned. In 1953, KAU was subsequently banned. Field Marshal Dedan Kimathi, the Mau Mau hero, was captured in 1956 and later hanged. In 1960, the state of emergency was lifted and Kenya African National Union, KANU, advocating for a unitary government formed. Soon, a pro-regionalism breakaway faction, the Kenyan African Democratic Union, KADU, was registered. Under the 1962 Constitution, KADU's proposal prevailed. Kenyatta led KANU to win the May 1963 election, and he was sworn in as Prime Minister. Independence was granted on 12 December 1963 and a republic proclaimed on 12 December 1964. With Kenyatta as president under a unitary system of government. KADU, whose leadership included Daniel Arap Moi, folded up to join KANU. Kenyatta and his vice president, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, had ideological differences. Pio Gama Pinto, Odinga's socialism advisor, was shot dead in 1965. Odinga resigned as vice president in 1966 to form Kenya People's Union, KPU. Moi was later made vice president. In June 1969, Tom Mboya, Kenyatta's capitalism strategist too, was murdered, causing political tension. KPU was banned and Odinga placed under house arrest. New players emerged in 1971. Including tribal outfits such as Gema, as well as popular individual opponents such as J.M. Kariuki. His subsequent murder in 1975 caused a national uproar. Attempted constitutional changes in 1976, barring the vice president from automatic succession, were nipped in the bud by Attorney General Charles Njonjo. East African Community, established in 1967, collapsed in 1977 due to ideological differences amongst member states. Kenyatta died in 1978 and was succeeded by his vice president, Arap Moi. Moi Kibaki was appointed vice president and political prisoners freed. Tribal outfits such as Gema were outlawed in 1981 and a de jure one-party state created in June 1982. 2 months later, an attempt to topple the government was crushed by Army Commander Mahmoud Mohammed. Thereafter, Moi became ruthless in dealing with dissidents. A 1983 commission of inquiry against Njonjo uncovered his plans to topple Moi. Njonjo, who had been instrumental in Moi's rise to power, received a presidential pardon. A snap election of 1983 helped to purge dissidents. KANU was strengthened and security intensified. Clamor for political pluralism emerged after the 1990 murder of Foreign Minister Robert Ouko. A repeal of the Constitution in 1991 restored multi-party democracy. Forum for the Restoration of Democracy, FORD, led by Oginga Odinga, emerged as the main opposition before Kenneth Matiba broke away. An ethnically divided opposition by Odinga, Matiba, and Kibaki lost to Moi in the 1992 election. Under the new regime, the government instituted further political and economic reforms. Moi agreed to work with the World Bank and IMF to service foreign debts. He continued to benefit from the powerful colonial-style provincial administration. A mass eviction of the Kikuyu from Rift Valley took place in 1993. Towards the end of the term, Moi allowed reforms to level the political space. In 1997, he won, but with a narrow legislative majority. Being his last term in office, according to the Constitution, the president made efforts to manage his succession. He merged KANU with the National Democratic Party (NDP) led by Raila Odinga. This would give KANU a comfortable majority until Uhuru Kenyatta was announced as the preferred successor. A mass exodus of leaders, including Odinga, left to join Kibaki in the 2002 election. Kenyatta of KANU contested and lost to Kibaki of the National Alliance Rainbow Coalition, NAC. An economist, Kibaki implemented an economic recovery program. His promise to promulgate a new constitution led to a referendum in 2005, which failed. After the defeat, Kibaki reconstituted his cabinet, leaving out dissidents like Odinga, who joined the Orange Democratic Movement, ODM, in the 2007 elections. Odinga of ODM contested for president against Kibaki of Party of National Unity, PNU, and Kalonzo Musyoka of ODM, Kenya. Uhuru threw his weight behind Kibaki. ODM won the majority seats in parliament, but the presidential election was highly disputed. The electoral body nevertheless indicated that Kibaki had won after delays in tallying. The election was a continuation of the referendum contest. Kibaki, who has hurriedly sworn in, invited Kalonzo to join him as vice president in an attempt to show up legislative numbers. Over 1,000 people were killed in post-election violence, which displaced more than 600,000 people. Mediation led by former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan reached a power-sharing deal in February 2008. This led to a coalition government. Kibaki retained presidency, with Odinga taking the newly created post of Prime Minister. Among the achievements of the coalition government was promulgation of a new constitution in 2010. It included provisions to address historical injustices and improve governance. Kibaki sent the Kenyan military to Somalia in 2011 to counter Al-Shabaab militia. Kenyatta and William Ruto were among the leading suspects in the post-election violence. Later, the two presented themselves as candidates for the 2012 election on a joint presidential ticket. After much deliberation, they were cleared to contest in the first election under the new constitution. Against all odds, they defeated their main challengers, Odinga and his running mate Kalonzo. The victors were preoccupied with ICC cases, which came to pass after ascending to power. Kenyatta had to deal with insecurity issues, mainly from Al-Shabaab militia. In 2013, the group staged an attack in Nairobi, killing more than 70 people. On the political front, the opposition lobbied for the constitution of the electoral body. New commissioners were appointed in January 2017. Meanwhile, Kenyatta and Ruto folded their parties, creating the Jubilee Party. Pro-Raila parties also formed the National Super Alliance, NASA, in January 2017. Elections followed in August 2017 and Kenyatta was re-elected. Odinga contested the results and the Supreme Court annulled them. A new presidential election was set for October 2017 and Uhuru won following a Raila boycott. After a period of tension, Uhuru and Odinga made a political rapprochement in March 2018. This undermined the authority of Deputy President Ruto. Uhuru and Raila initiated a task force on political changes. Its report was struck down by the court on unconstitutionality in 2021. Uhuru was ineligible to contest in 2022. The main presidential candidates in 2022 were Odinga and Ruto. Odinga of Azimio la Umoja Alliance, supported by Kenyatta, lost to Ruto of Kenya Kwanza Alliance. Ruto got slightly over 50%, enough to avoid a runoff. Following the announcement, a section of electoral commissioners denounced the results. Odinga filed a petition with the Supreme Court later that month. The results were upheld and Ruto was duly sworn in. Ruto's government inherited heavy foreign debts and resorted to taxation towards repayment. This has led to difficulties in the cost of living and implementation of development projects. A youth-led street protest in July 2024 was carried out countrywide, rejecting a proposed finance bill. The president responded by rejecting the bill and dismissing the entire cabinet as demanded by the protesters. Kenya enjoys a vibrant democratic space entrenched by a progressive constitution. Kenya's post-independence history is a testament to its resilience and determination, from the struggle for independence to the challenges and triumphs of nation building. Kenya stands as a beacon of hope and progress in Africa. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more episodes from the Pihoa Network. Until next time, kwaheri.